this will be more of kind of like a recap of stuff. So it's been a little while though. So have questions come up since then? It's because it's been almost a year.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, so I've had some pretty significant
Hero pool
life
changes, I'm noticing.
changes. Yeah, well, I was playing tank for a while and it was a lot of fun until I ranked up a bit and then it stopped being fun.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um,
Makes sense.
so I think it was last season, I guess mid last season, I started playing on Tracer again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just had a blast. And then when the perks came out, I don't remember exactly when that was, but
Mm-hmm.
that was just made her feel just so more fluid, and you could do so much more with her. And I kind of just fell in love with the hero again.
Yep.
So I've been
Yep.
playing Tracer again.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Welcome back.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's good to be back.
I mean, Trace is great. Perk might get nerfed tomorrow, but I'm
Yeah,
sure she'll still be fine. So
yeah, I'm sure it will get nerfed because it's just it's really just too strong.
yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. So at the time of the forum, obviously, I guess really everything is kind of irrelevant here. So let's just start from the get go. What do you hope to get out of the
Sure.
session?
So for this session, I wanted to talk specifically about um, I need help getting like a practice routine set up.
Yeah.
Um, because I've moved twice in the last year, and like there's been a whole bunch of other changes, so I've been not as consistent as I would like to be
That's fine.
with like
Happens.
practice and warm up and all that. So I wanted to kind of I don't know, help getting some kind of routine set up. And I also have a lot less free time than I did
Yep.
when we had our last session.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
really figuring out like how can I get the most out of the practice time that I spend?
It's a good
Like what?
question. Yeah.
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 And then
Good. Good.
kind of along with that is like I do enjoy the practice and you go into a game and you just focus on this thing for the whole game. Um, but I also really enjoy playing the game, just for fun.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of challenging to sort of balance those two,
Yep.
especially like playing on the same role and the
Yeah.
same hero.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I get that.
yeah, yeah.
Let me think about this. So, really good questions. I wish more people ask these questions. I kind of have to force feed them their vegetables sometimes, but I do think it's like as important, if not more important, than even in-game strategy. I noticed even when you filled out the form for Tang, there's some questions about mechanical drills and warm-ups and so on. So, like, you're clearly
Yeah.
all in that. Yeah. So let's start with what time are you comfortably going to be able to dedicate to the game total, fun or work or training? Let's put it that way, fun or training.
Sure. I would say total. I th I lately I've been able to probably average about an hour to an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
uh, between 3 and 5 days a week, kind of just
Okay.
depending on what's going on.
Yep,
But
makes sense.
that's been pretty
Okay.
consistently. I can make that happen.
Okay. And then in terms of fun versus wanting to train, how often do you find yourself doing the former versus the latter?
I feel like training probably. Uh, I mean, again, it's hard because it kind of depends on the day.
It
Like if
does,
I'm really
yeah.
tired, if I
But
don't
like for
have
a
the like
week,
bandwidth.
you know what I'm
Like
saying?
in a week, it would probably be between 60 to 70% training, and then 40 to 30% just kind of goofing around.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. So what I would do is the hour and a half, there really doesn't need to be any major adjustments for what you're doing. I mean, that's just spend the whole time training. Go into, ranked, play 2, 4 ranked games, whatever you have time for, whatever you have energy for, and then there you go. On days where you don't have, like you said, the bandwidth or you're not feeling it, then just do quick play or off roll or whatever else. Like I think like My general recommendation is like if you're not training, try to avoid playing the character that you're supposed to be practicing, just to avoid developing
Okay.
any bad habits. But I think like you don't even have to necessarily hard fast stick with that rule. Some people will just quick play. Some people will do alt accounts. And some people just say, screw it, I just want to play ranked. I don't care if it's Tracer ranked, and I don't care if it's bad practice necessarily. Like, I just want to play the game, and I want to do what's fun. And honestly, like, sure. Like, I mean, honestly, like, you can min max, and I think we can all find development through that. But ultimately, like, if you just want to play ranked, that's your call. But I guess like if you really want advice on that, that would be some low hanging fruit in that category.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Where are you at rank wise right now?
Right now, let me check real quick.
Approximately is
Um,
fine too.
yeah, so right now my tracer is at plat 4.
Plat four, right? So
Um, yeah, I
like,
think last week I was one game away from diamond.
oh wow, okay,
And
that's
then
good. So what? So
yeah,
what? Like first off, congratulations. Like that's like
thank you.
obviously
Thanks.
great. Like that's not an easy character to get to diamond with. Yes, but what? Was there any specific thing that happened, or was it just a bad streak, or what?
I mean, there's been a few things that happened. One of them was my W key just stopped working
Oh,
in the middle of the game. Um, and
that's
that
unfortunate.
I think that was after a couple, just regular 50-50 losses. Um, and then that got the like losing streak, and I think that dropped me down a rank. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that was I was kind of just like, whatever, technical stuff happens. Um, but then something that was really confusing, I didn't know how to deal with it, was when I was at that plat 1, plat 2 rank, I would get placed in like high diamond average games
Mm-hmm.
and like mid silver average games.
Yep.
And the difference in like quality of game and like what my teammates do in
Mm-hmm.
that, it was just such a roller coaster going from one to the other. Um, and a lot of the times it would be like a couple diamond lobbies, and I would kind of get into the flow of that, and then I would be put into a silver or gold game, and then I would not maybe not recognize or not check the rank or whatever, and I would assume like, okay, my teammates have an idea of what's going on, and I would kind of play how like I would play with a diamond player. Um, but that sort of flip flop was really challenging for me.
Yeah, it's not good practice at all. Like it's not a good practice. I mean, I've been hearing more about that, and that's pretty depressing, honestly. Um, I mean, I guess the one consolation is that in theory, the diamond player that's doing something or platinum player that's doing something similar is probably having the same issues as you are. But
Yep.
ultimately,
Yep.
like you have to be better. But ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's like, oh, you just need to push through it. I mean, yeah, you do, but like, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine if anything else in life was like that. You know, that's not exactly good practice, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
that's why you have to try to be as objective as you possibly can about your practice,
Mhm.
and don't think as much. I mean, you know this, but don't think about carrying. Just hold your angle. If it's 2v1, give it respect, fight it, pressure it. Don't disengage it, whether it's diamond or gold,
Sure.
but do
Yeah.
respond to what's given. Oh no, I'm low in HP. There you go. Like I don't care if it's a gold or a GM Cassidy, I'm still gonna blink through him as Tracer, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But obviously, I'm not going to say that that's like it is. There are some things that might change a little bit in how much you respect stuff. So yeah, that honestly sucks. And I think the key thing for you is would probably be like with that adversity, W key ranked volatility. You know, how did you respond to that
Um,
difficulty?
so at the with the W key, it was in the middle of the game, so I like tried to,
Of
blow out the
course,
keyboard like
of course, not that
the
individual
best I could.
game.
And
I guess
oh,
afterwards.
just
You know,
like just kind of
aftermath.
around that.
Yeah.
Um, um,
Because
I
platform
think
isn't like a plummet to the depths, but it is
no,
a
no, it's
that's
not. But
a
it,
negative 10, a negative 12 streak. Um,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
substantial.
yeah. I think what happened around that time, so to step back a little bit, you
Please.
uploaded a video that was really helpful. It was
Good.
I
I'm
don't
glad.
remember what it was called, but it was the video about not analyzing the game mid-game.
Yeah.
I watched that and I realized that I did that every game.
Yeah.
Um,
Because something's wrong, right? Something's
yeah,
wrong. And you're
yeah,
like, I
exactly.
need to figure out what's going wrong. And,
Yeah,
you know,
especially in the games where I would go from like the diamond lobbies to the gold lobbies, it would be
yeah.
like something's not right, and it wasn't even like a conscious thing like I need to figure out what's going on. It was like I wanted to solve the problem or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's like a bank run kind of a mentality I noticed with lost streaks where it's like, the worst possible thing you can try to do is fix it. It's like
Yep,
it just
yep.
just don't try to like, because the problem with like the bank run is that everybody's like panicking, and so therefore it really causes a problem. But
Yep.
deranking is like a normal part of the process, being in random SR lobbies, and yes, keyboards breaking, part of the
Hmm.
process.
Yep.
But like you have to kind of like let it run its course, and then trying to consciously fix it, as you kind of said, like it can kind of
Yeah, no,
just cement the problem.
that's kind of what I was trying to do. I just, like lost streaks happen. It would be great if it was like less freaky, but that's kind
Yeah.
of how I've noticed rank goes. Is like I'll go on like 4, 5, 6, 7 game win streaks, and then I'll lose 5 or 6, and then it
Yeah.
just kind of flip flops.
Yep, that's how it goes. You be as
Yep.
consistent as you can through the up and down.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
I guess for you, it basically kind of going back to what we talked about would be platinum, tracer, a couple of games a day whenever you have the capability to. Alt
Hmm.
account, try to off roll, or just play in your main. Just play off roll if you want to. Go back to tank, play support, play some quick
Yeah,
play. Go
I
in.
I
Just
actually have been playing a lot of, well, not a lot, but I have been playing some support, and
mm-hmm,
I just finished my placements the other day, and I placed Plat 1,
mm-hmm.
which is the highest my support has ever been. I think I've been
Nice.
consistently like mid to low gold on support.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been really enjoying that as
Nice.
well.
Okay. Cool.
And then when I queue for tank, usually I just play Zarya and then think, okay, I'm just going to work on tracking and then
Yeah.
just
Sure.
not worry about anything else.
Yeah.
Because then
Works
I
for
can
me.
kind of like turn my brain off and like enjoy the game, but I'm still working on like an applicable skill.
Yep. Last thing I'd say for schedule, because I honestly don't think it's super complicated with how much time you have to give, is I would spend 3 or 4 minutes, maybe not even that much, just at least 2 to 3 minutes in Vaxta, just practicing your 180 reacquisitions with your blinks and then your tracking.
Yeah.
Um, just while you're in queue, I don't, or before or whatever. Like I wouldn't spend a lot of time in Vaxta for tracer players because it's not dueling
Yeah.
really, but you can practice the blink 180 require shoot. Blink 180 require shoot. Just practicing
Yep.
that just to get your mechanics warmed up that way, because you're not really going to have like 2 3 hours to warm up. You just have to, you need those games to count. So I do think a warm up might even be a little bit more important in your instance, as long as it's short.
Yeah, usually what I do when I know last time I had like the whole my whole warm up thing that I
Yeah.
did, and lately I've been doing just what you said, couple minutes of Axta. Maybe if I have a little more time, I'll hop into a deathmatch lobby after
Yep.
2 or 3 minutes of Vax and then queue up for ranked.
Yep, seems good. Seems good. I think you can be really efficient with your time and make progress. I mean, I would say it would be pushing it, but I definitely think Diamond is within reach, depending on how the meta
Okay,
goes next year. And I think right now, like,
sweet.
we'll see how the patch hurts, but I definitely think it's possible. So,
Okay.
okay. Obviously, the form about what you feel is holding you back from improving is kind of irrelevant because it was more applicable to Tank. Is there anything that comes to mind with Tracer? That maybe
Yeah, so
strategic difficulties, understanding. I mean, we've talked about a lot of this, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of sessions. But what is not
yeah.
clicked?
So something that I've noticed in my gameplay a lot recently is that I feel like I either misjudge my blink distance by like just like a fraction of a meter,
Yep.
or I'll like
Is this
get
for 180s? I assume.
no, not for 180s. For like
Oh,
180s and like target acquisition, I feel pretty comfortable with that.
sure.
It's like if I'm trying to like soft disengage, I'll like blink and I'm like almost around, like I'm on around the corner on my
Oh,
screen,
I
but
see
I
what you're
won't be
saying.
all, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So little things like that and like getting stuck on a pole or a shrub or something.
Yeah, bad news.
Yep,
Practice.
that happens.
Practice. Yeah, like I don't think
Yep.
there's sadly
Yeah.
any specific. The only thing I can say is that like, do you have dedicated days where or games where you are only working on your blink movement, like your blink accuracy?
Um. Mm,
Yeah, see
no, no,
that's
not
probably
really.
something.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
So that would be
yeah,
something
yeah,
to
absolutely.
be worth focusing on.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
absolutely. Yeah, like in the same way that a wrecking ball player can work really hard and like rollouts and stuff, like Tracer player, like you should go into a certain, like, I mean, I'm gonna pick a random percentage here, 20, 25% of your games, and you're literally only working on your movement, not your positioning,
Yeah.
not your mechanics with your, your right hand, but completely with your left.
Yeah. That
I
makes
guess
sense.
depending on what you blink with, but yeah, absolutely just
Yeah.
working moving. And like it would be weird too, but it's actually funny. Like when I find myself doing those games when I have in the past, I'm actually better at dueling than I am when I'm focusing on my aim. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I know we're not just talking about dueling here, but yeah, just in general. Good question. Anything else come to mind in terms of your shortcomings or things you'd like to improve on?
Um,
Besides, everything like all of us.
besides everything, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, something that I not quite as often as like the blink movement stuff, but I know sometimes I tend to like tunnel vision into
yeah.
like if
Mm-hmm.
I go into the back line and I'm poking and I like see a kill opportunity and I go in and the other support gets naded or something and I don't have that kill potential
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Um, it's sometimes I just forget that I can't kill this anymore. I need to
Yeah.
figure out a way to disengage. I just like stay in.
Yeah.
um but I guess that's just practicing the like counting cooldowns or like recognizing if I want to stay on the hard commit.
Yeah, I would say even more than that. I had a Sombra session prior to this one, and we talked a great deal about respect and how you use that about when you translocate. So if they're
Mm,
disrespecting you, ignoring you, you don't translocate. If they are respecting you, you translocate almost immediately. As you throw your fire shoot and bam, you're out immediately, right?
mm,
And I feel like Tracer's the same way. I don't know if you've heard me like use the term the Kevster principle. I made a video about it long time ago, and basically it's like if it's a 2v1 you need to live, if it's a 1v1 you need to try to win that one unless you mess up. So
mm,
like when you go in and you see, oh, they get pocketed or they get naded or whatever, like you're no longer required, no longer expected, and you shouldn't try to get the kill there unless they're already at a low HP, because
okay,
you've
that
already
makes
done your
sense.
job, you've already forced the
Right.
resources there.
I
And so
I
yeah,
yeah, I took the resources from the rest of the
yeah,
team onto the
yeah.
2v1.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of tracers make one or two mistakes. They'll commit into the kill, like is your error, or the other one is that they'll recall out and just like AFK. And it's like, well, sure, you got to recall out or blink out or whatever, but then you can apply a little bit of soft, cautious pressure as long as there's nothing that's going to blow your head off, right? And like just kind of play the
Right.
more conservative until you get more resources. So it's like these cycles of aggression, and then oh no, they give me a lot of attention, so I chill out a little bit. But for you, it's like you can't. A lot of tracers are like, oh, I need to win every 1v1, and they just fail to realize like you have that it's now become a 2v1 or it's become a 3v1. So you've given your
Yeah.
team an advantage, coast off of that, rinse and repeat. And
Yeah.
that recognition is less to do with cooldowns, because who cares if the Ana has nade? You know what I'm saying? It's more about
Oh,
did the
sure.
Ana,
If if the BAP's pocketing the Ana, then
that's it
it's
right
yeah,
there, right?
yeah,
It did
yeah,
the Ana nade
yeah,
the BAP, right?
yeah,
That's when you
yeah,
might have a problem, right?
yeah,
So that's the key thing there. It's tricky, but that's just a skill that like any sort of mobile character, especially tank DPS or support, has to recognize, because when you're a more mobile person, you're more likely to cause psychological trauma. And when you're more likely
yes,
to cause
absolutely.
psychological trauma, you're going to get more attention.
Yep. Yeah.
And so
No,
that's
I
kind of,
actually noticed that a lot when I was playing Monkey last summer. Like, I kind of trained myself to like get the same like I don't dopamine reward or whatever you want
yes.
to call it out of
And
forcing those resources. But
yes.
I just haven't been able to like transfer that onto Tracer. I think because
It's because you, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, I was going to say it's probably what you're going to say is that it's because it feels like if I could aim better, I could just do it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely part of it. It's like, oh, well, if I just, go and one or two clip the Ana, then I don't have to worry about the resources. But with Monkey, it's like, you can't aim better. You
Yeah,
zap.
exactly.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
it's a lot more intuitive, but ultimately, like you do need to do a better job of that. So,
yep, yep.
there's still hard caps, and I think the key thing, and this is why I called it the Kevster principle, wasn't just because Kevster does it well, but because I think Kevster has been consistently probably the best Western tracer, arguably, for a long time, like at least consistently over the last few years. So when he does it, that should tell you something. When he gives respect, when this mechanical freak is a respectful, strategic guy, hey, you're not LeBron James dunking on 5-year-olds. Like he applies it. So everybody should have that same level of respect.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, it's tough though. It's both a good and bad thing about tracers. Feeling like if I see this with pulse bomb too, they'll just cheat the game. They'll just blink in the middle of the enemy team. Oh, like if I hit that pulse bomb 5 game, it's like you got to be careful about that. Okay.
Yep.
Patient movement, being deliberate with blink movement. We'll keep an eye on that. Recognizing 2v1, 3v1s, 4v1s, 5v1s, etc. We'll keep an eye on that. Anything else here?
Something I did notice. I've kind of, once I noticed it, I was like, oh, I don't. That's a bad thing to do. But I noticed that sometimes I would try to cheat, but I would just like blink down main in the middle of their team because I saw the Ana at 1 HP.
Yep.
Which is like good to go for that, but not down main. So I was just like, okay, I'll just play an angle.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If you see the Ana at 1 HP, I get it, right? There's a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, like, there is a time and a place. So we'll have to check to see whether that recognition is appropriate or not. Okay. Yeah. I know you said on the tank forum that you wanted to do some live coaching. I don't know if that's still the case, or you want to go back and review. Just whatever you like.
Let's do the VOD today.
Works for me.
And I think I checked the code. I believe it's still good.
I mean, assuming it's within the last 2 or 3 weeks, you should be okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I believe this code is okay to skip around in. I went and made sure a few days ago that you could should be okay.
I've only seen it with I think 6v6 codes that it's still around. For whatever reason. Yeah. Or maybe it's custom game codes, like the Scrim code. I don't know if you've seen that, where they have like the stats. I think one of those is still bugged, but the 5v5 normal codes I haven't had any issues with. Thank goodness. That was a long 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not gonna. It was actually like 4 or 5 weeks. That was exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of codes, I had a code that I really enjoyed. It was from Overwatch 1. It was the Dorado Pulse course. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I know it's a thing.
It is broken. I was so sad about. So I was if you know of any Pulse codes or like any updated code lists for Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that I could just say Vaxa, but it's so freaking boring.
Right? Yeah.
That's always the problem with Vaxa. It's like there's no sense of like challenge. I mean, even the challenge mode is just not quite doesn't really do.
Yeah,
anything.
no, that's what I really liked about the Dorado code is that it forces you to do different stuff than
when you make a game of something. You do better at it, and so even if Vaxa is like, oh, it's better strategic because they move more, but it's not fun, so people are not going to do it, right? Yeah. So there's like that careful balance here, So okay, I love we went from PMA to LMAO, so love the account swap here. Okay, I mean we've been through this before with tracers, so especially now that we have some ideas of things that maybe you could practice, we can. Just let it cook, and obviously if I say anything that doesn't make sense or if you have any questions, just stop me, all right?
Will do.
I like the skin. Love me some graffiti. It's, I think, my favorite tracer skin.
Yeah, this skin was an accident. I was supposed to be on comic book.
I like that one too.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, of course. This angle's good. Bit awkward, obviously, with your tank being there, but you do have deepen opportunities, which is either through here or through underneath. And so this is where it looks like it's not cheating, but it is. So it's not bad cheating because you're not running through the middle of the enemy team necessarily, but you're not approaching your target from a different angle, so therefore you're at a disadvantage. So what can you do from this position here? What can you do from this position here? I'm kind of answering my question as I'm asking it, but you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't have to use all my blinks to get in. I could have just shot the Bastion. I could have dropped and blinked under here and then waited a second or two and then gone for
Sure.
the Ana.
Sure. But I think even that, while that's a much more strategic approach, and I commend your strategy on that because you're correct, absolutely, I just don't think it's necessary. You know, you only do that when there isn't a good angle available. You could have even sat here and shot queen with resounding results, in case in point here, right? You're a short range character. It doesn't matter what you shoot. I mean, you and I both would like to shoot Hanzos and Bastions to the back of the head, but shooting a tank off angle, what you lack for in burst pick potential, you'll make up for with how long you can shoot that target if you play your movement right. So like Hanzo, high value, high risk, right? Queen, medium value, medium risk, and things kind of scale appropriately. If we deposited her with a Reinhardt, it'd be low risk, low reward, right? But it's still just right there, and you've got all your blinks and all your recall there for you to do that. And that's something that you have to keep in mind. I also just realized, I was gonna say these cars seem a bit disproportionate, but I just think its queen is just so freaking massive. So
Yep. She's a tall lady.
yeah. So yeah, I like how you're blinking here. I like how you disengaged once you saw that they had peeled off, but your uptime is garbage because you forced a target instead of holding the angle.
Yeah.
So some good, some bad. We'll go from there. Like, this is obviously a lost fight, and so you're going to disengage and play your next angle, but this is, I think, a good starting angle, all things considered, so. Mercy's going to try to get out. I think you can hold the angle. I don't think they have, I mean, that's a little bit unlucky, but I think you can hold the angle.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think they have
that's something, as soon as I had that death, I was like, oh, I could have just stayed up there.
Yeah, they don't really have the mobility to chase you, so. Okay. Retake on right. I like this. Good clip. Recall's fine. It's a little unfortunate, but you were missing over 100 HP, so I get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could have just blinked back to the mini.
True. Good angle here. And this is where, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you have to fight, or at least try to. Either like, I would at least turn around and check to see what your tank is doing. Okay, so she's falling back a little bit, so that's okay. So, long rotation, but we'll get there. And then I'll pause once we're here. I'm going to make you come up with 2 more angles in here. So obviously this angle is if anybody pushes here, I'm here. If they don't, I'm here. Give me 2 more.
I could double blink above the cart.
This position is broken for Tracer, just FYI. Really broken because of the number of options that you have here, here, and obviously, this is just incredible. Okay, give me 1 more. Maybe not even that good, but at least it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could blink down in front of the, like, to the left of the mini and kind of play the boxes there.
Right, we got options.
Yep.
All these probably would have been a little bit easier to set up on than this rotation that you took. It's not bad, but yeah.
Yeah, no, this one's just a little bit uncomfortable because they can all see me.
And that's exactly, I think you're realizing that you're like, man, what do I do? And this is good. This is the correct rotation here. Good pulse. And I'm noticing something is you're paying a lot of attention, excuse me, to your tempo, to your cycles, to your recall, your blinks, right? And we saw this even in the first point. Like, you go for the Ana, you post your recall, you're out. And then you're very cautious even to peek here again until you're closer to full resources. This is where maybe that level of attention is leading you to some incorrect choices. So here, yes, but look at your resources.
I could have blinked up the stairs and one clip the Hanzo.
Well, yes and no, but you're correct. But I'm looking more for like the approach here, which is that yes, I'm down my recall, but I have cover, mini, full health, 3 blinks, so and so on.
Yep. Oh, so I can keep pressuring. I don't have.
You can keep pressuring. We talked about this earlier, where the mistake was that either you tunnel on it and target that's 2v1, or you get your recall burned and then you just AFK. Yeah. And actually, that's kind of been what you've done a couple of times here, where you do need to be cautious here, but you could keep fighting. You can win this duel here. You can shoot queen in the back. You can't, exactly as you said, look for maybe engaging the Hanzo here. This isn't Winston without bubble level, right?
Right.
It's significantly more forgiving than that. And so I'm just concerned not just at, your level of inactivity, but also how you put yourself in your own backline. You notice that? So not only are you too scared of your own tempo, you leave by running right through your team into your own backline. And by the way, does that sound familiar? Remember that we died to Bastion here? Same kind of thing.
Yep.
Same kind of thing. You could live on the angle.
That was something that I worked on, was it a couple of weeks ago, I think. Is that I noticed I had that tendency to, reset to my backline. So I started, instead of resetting to backline, just reset behind cover.
Sure. That's like a great rule for me. Yeah. Sounds like a great. So just keep practicing that then. So this is okay. Your rollouts are killing me though. You can literally just go up the stairs here. But I mean, you know what? The thing I like though is that there's no hesitation. Just go. That's good. Nice to see.
Yeah.
Obviously,
that's something else that I practiced. Is like, I have had a tendency to kind of like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So for a couple weeks, I think this was a few months ago, but I was like, I'm just going to make a decision and hard commit. I don't care what the decision is. I'm just going to do that thing.
Good. Revisit that topic and practice it again, but this time make yourself experiment with different angles. And try to find out the best one. And just that's the only thing that you practice. That's good, though. I think regardless of whether you're experimenting or just playing, you want to be more decisive, because if you're indecisive, then you look stupid no matter what you do, right? So this is good. Like you look silly on the long rotation, but you know what? You ended up in a spot, and good for you. So, okay. Obviously, we've already talked about this angle, but I think you've kind of learned after last fight, what do you need to do when I'm not pressured on this angle? And, here we go. This is good, right? So you've learned from last fight, okay, I'm not being contested, so I should probably deepen my angle, and there we go. So, okay, let's take a look here. I just made a horrible mistake here. I just realized this entire time I've been streaming without the gameplay. Okay, so the first 5-10 minutes of the gameplay is going to have me talking to a blank screen, so I apologize. Yeah. Okay, we are here. Yeah, so this is where your opportunity is really awkward, but this is where you can, if you give yourself just a few seconds, I bet you'll solve it. Where do you go from here? It's hard. Where do you
go? Blink up the stairs, 1v1 the Ana.
1, 2 to cover, right? Yeah, that's a hard one to think of in the moment though, okay? Here's another one. You ready for this? 1, 2, here.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly think both are equally good. I think it's up to your choice. This is a good rotation from you initially, but then you kind of hit a bit of I won't say a brick wall, but this is some nice plywood here. This is not an easy rotation, to be very clear. So don't feel stupid. It's just in the moment they rotated away from you, and that kind of made things difficult. And you try to like, everything's so far, what do I do? And you were unable to solve it. But I like this. Like, I like this whole, like, living back here, not forcing anything. Be careful about running over health backs with the perk, by the way. Just because you do take the health back. It's not that big of a deal, but worth going. And I complimented you, and then you made me eat my own words because now you're inside your own backline.
Yep, I sure am. Yeah, I could have just stayed up on the mini on the right.
Yeah. Just give yourself... That way, when this fight starts, this is not what you're looking at, Yeah. Think that then you're looking at this. This feels 10 times easier to retake
That's
with.
so much more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I like the rotation, though. This is good. Yeah, no complaints here. I mean, this is all good. I just wish you were here 6 seconds earlier, right? 3 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
Would that have changed the result because you got what looks like dragon in your face? Probably not, but sorry.
Yeah, I think at this point I was just trying to spell cart for a bit.
Movement was okay there. Decent mechanics, decent movement. This is not an easy point for Tracer. Very linear. This rotation from you is decent. Yeah, I mean, you're doing okay. One little detail here. So once you're here, I mean, you can lean here. Very naked, very awkward. I like this rotation through here. Just blink through here and approach the Hanzo
Yeah,
this
I always
way.
forget those backstairs
Yeah,
exist.
it's still uncomfortable because if he sonics you, but you can go blink and then sit here and then
And then
kind
I
of play
have-
patty
yeah.
cake. Yeah, it's high risk because pretty much everything on third point attack or defense is going to be high risk for you. But yeah, this is fine. This is very high risk, but again, like I said, everything is high risk. Good job with the pulse. Kind of unfortunate she died, but who cares? Other than that, looks good. It's good. I mean, it's like honestly like dopamine city, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep, no,
so
this-
much juice, you know.
I could shoot the Bastion so much. It
Feels so
yeah.
good, you know. That's fine. Didn't really have an opportunity to reset there. Like I said, there's just really nowhere to go. So play for time, let your team come back, and then take your angle here. That Ana is in Narnia. Wow.
Yep.
Now, this is where I like your retake here. It's not terrible, but I do think you need to experiment more with this map. New stuff, but it's stuff worth experimenting with. Merry Christmas.
Yep.
There's your angle. There's your angle. There's your angle. It's just going to make your life so much easier. So I don't hate what you're doing, but it is kind of like you said, some of that map inexperience. This feels too far, right? It's not bad to shoot tank, but this feels a little bit far. Nice. This is cheating, but the opportunity made sense.
Yep.
And you had the resources for it, so go for it. Let's see what you do with the rotations. Again, cheating, but again, made sense. In fact, I think you could have recalled after you blink through him one more time. I don't know if you... Oh, okay, never mind. I'm mistaken. I thought you had one more blink, so that was fine. Yep, don't just stay there. Rotate around. Nano tank is probably the one time I wouldn't shoot the tank unless she's low. This is excellent. Don't worry about it. Just pulse him. It's fine. Obviously, mechanically, it kind of stinks, but you're isolating backline pretty much by yourself. Don't panic. Hold the angle. Don't panic. Hold the angle. There you go. Love to see it. Look at that. Beautiful. And then now you can actually think, and this is where I think I wouldn't hard commit here, but you still have 3 blinks and full HP. So if you see an opportunity, you want to pressure this Hanzo on this angle or harass, whatever, you are allowed to do so. I wouldn't blink towards the queen to do so, but that's honestly not as risky as you'd think, given the resources you have. That was a good fight. Like, you did a really good job on that, on the work on that angle. Pulse bomb and everything. Obviously, the mechanics with the pulse bomb, but yeah, it was good stuff. Sure. Like the adjustment here. It's really funny watching you, like, real-time evolve in this map. Like, second point, your first fight was terrible, and then, like, your rotation on second fight was much better. Third point, you could tell you're a little bit confused, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we get a little more confident with it, you know? It's really good. So you're kind of playing for, like, low uptime, big burst in value. They're also not really pressuring right now, so I like the patience. Sure. Make her do the rotation and to clear you out, and then she walks right into your Junkrat. Good use of blinks. She shouts out. Rotate to the opposite side, most likely. I trust that you will. And there it is. Really keep an eye on that health pack, have it. It's a tiny little detail. It's really good when you're fighting somebody else in that small room. But if you do recall back to this room and get shot, you will not have that health pack. Just kind of keep that in mind.
True.
Yeah. I wonder how much of this is like the Pavlovian, like, ooh, it sounds the health pack noise.
I know. It's like, oh, I get my ability back. That's
Yeah. Okay. I think I know what you're going to do, and I'm honestly fine with it. It's going to take only 2 blinks to cross. You have your recall. You'll have 1 more blink, maybe even 2 blinks. Yeah. This is well timed. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think you needed a recall there.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
green
I
out
could
1
have
blink.
stayed in.
But
I could have stayed on. That,
yeah, good stuff. I like that. This is good stuff. Ooh, disaster for them. Worthless dragon. This rotation's good. A little bit of trigger discipline there. Probably didn't need a blink recall. Just kind of hold the angle. Double bounce. That hurts.
Yep.
Lieutenant Stinky has swapped. Alert. Just be warned.
Yeah, no, I remember I saw the Reaper swap and I was like, oh, that's so much easier than Hanzo.
Yeah, way less scary, right?
Yep, less scary, easier hitbox.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Nice. It's annoying, but also there's a lesson to be learned here. First off, the value is fine. Like it's annoying, but it's fine because he got nanoed, he turreted early, and is now shooting you. But the one micro lesson here is what?
Should have posted the Ana.
Or
shoot
5 more bullets into him.
Yep. Yeah.
Just 5 more bullets. It's that armor.
Something I've noticed is like I tend to shoot my clip until I have like 2 or 4 or 6 bullets left. Yeah, and then I have no idea how many kills that's cost me, but probably.
Watch his HP. Watch his HP. We'll slow it down here. Want to guess how much HP he had?
40. That's my guess. No. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of damage there. A little bit of damage.
A little bit.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, 1 melee would have.
I guess my point being is that like it's not always great if he has turret form because he does get damage reduction in turret form that stacks with armor. So just keep that in mind. Now armor doesn't really affect your pulse armor. It's only I think a 7 damage reduction. It's basically nothing. But the turret form is a big thing. That being said, it's still sometimes killable if you get to chunk his HP down. So just keep that in mind.
Sure.
All that being said, nice angle, nice pulse, nice way to not recall immediately. Good use of your aggression. Now you can hold the angle here and keep him distracted. He will one-shot you with that, so you give respect. And so the nano's used, but they don't really get a lot out of it. And you still are able to hold the angle here. I think the results speak for themselves, right? This is good. Like, even when you're cheating a little bit on the Bastion, it's because he's 1 HP. I mean, I get it, yeah. And this is some pretty nice tracking. You blink through, she dies. Target priority locked in because she's low. I mean, this is a nice fight. Good stuff. Well done.
Thanks.
Made it look easy. Let's keep going here. Any questions so far?
I don't think so.
Okay. Big thing. Hold your angles. Don't give them up. Unless you're actively cleared out, then sure. Don't force targets. Take what's available on the angle. That's, Tracer 1 on 101. And then, honestly, a lot of the angles that you have chosen just feel like you're not as familiar with Havana specifically and feel a little bit lost at times. Which means you just need more experimentation. And to be fair, this is not an easy Tracer map either, and probably not one that you've played a lot on. So more deliberate practice, cut yourself some slack, go next.
Sure.
Okay, let's keep going here. Rotation here is fine. It's probably the best rotation. Left generally puts you a little bit more in the open, fewer rotation options. So I like right pretty consistently. And then here you can decide, okay, do I want to go take that Genji? Do I want to fight the Doomfist? Doomfist is actually chasing you, which is pretty funny. And then obviously you can just rotate to high ground if you'd like. So he's used cooldowns. You rotate here, you rotate there. Love to see it. And then now you can just pretty much AFK and just shoot. And the best thing about Tracers is like you don't even need to be scared of the Doom. Like this rotation's fine, but you can also just sit there and pepper the Doomfist as well. So I like this. This is fine. Beautiful. Textbook. She's dead. There's Lieutenant Sneaky on the Tracer counter, right? But maybe you'll just dance circles around them. Good. Nice. Nice. A little bit of trigger discipline. I like to see it. Good job blinking to cover. You have recall. You go for something a little aggressive. It's okay. Disengage back out to the angle. This angle's not too shabby. Left side can also work, but I think this one's fine. I wouldn't even worry about cart. This is where you don't want to be. But this rotation puts you over here, which is great. And then now you could just play Soldier 76. I mean, you're getting in dirty with it, but honestly, you don't even necessarily need to rotate through them. If they're ignoring you, just sit there on that palm tree right where the Orisa is and just shoot, 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 shoot. That being said, you're kind of playing the periphery of the fight, which I really like. Stay around. Yep. You don't know the status of Hinder. I get it. It's good. Yes. Yes. Look at this. Look at the value. Damage stats are crazy now. This is great. This was what a first point from you. Excellent rotations. The movement was good, if shaky at times. The damage uptime was solid. Nice job. Really, really good stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of pressure on you, but there also wasn't a ton of pressure on you because when there was briefly pressure on you, you blanked through it. You know, you were quick, right? You didn't immediately fall to pieces. And so there was a couple of moments where if you're a little bit slower, you definitely die. At least 2 of those moments, and you did a good job. So I like this rotation. This is good. Little short angle here. Obviously, you don't really need to do anything until they walk into you. Cart's moving for free. And this is where I think you're prioritizing a target too much.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's like, oh, Rissa May, it's no fun. Yeah, but it's no fun for them either, right? If you're sitting here, this makes it just so annoying to get rid of you. So annoying, right? And just consistently pepper and pepper and pepper and pepper and pepper and pepper and then drop.
Yeah, no, I think I saw the cast by himself there, and I was like, oh, that's someone isolated. I might be able to kill that.
And that's like the Tracer, like 2018 gamer tips and tricks videos from Overwatch 1. You know, find isolated targets with Tracer. No, no. Let them isolate themselves. Let that happen.
Yeah.
You know, so like if this is where you had started, I would have been okay with this. Although, actually, I honestly think that where you were was the better angle. I mean, this feels a little too direct if anybody comes here.
For sure.
But this is exactly like what you don't want to see. Because the irony is that because you use blinks to get here, you're not really in a great spot.
They have that high ground for free.
Yeah, and you're not really in a great spot to kill the cast either, right? Like, just now are you getting 3 blinks. In which case, I guess you could fight him. But it just feels really uncomfortable. And then here we are. So the role is just whatever you choose to invest in, commit. Make it pretty. You know, deepen or shallow, but commit, right? In the same way where you rotated here, and you're like, well, I'm going to drop to here, and then I'm going to go to here, right? Don't go, oh, no, this is bad. I'm going to go all the way over here. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
I think this fight's just lost. I mean, I would hold the angle, maybe steal card a little bit. This is nice.
I think I was just pushing cart as much as I could.
This is good. This is good. And then just run. And you could either run back to your team, or you can run to their back line. Honestly, either one's fine. This is good, right? Look at the off angle you got here, right?
Yep.
Poker out. Wait, that's actually crazy. The Mercy walls are. Well, that's crazy. Wait, look at this May. Look at this May. So Mercy does. I don't think this was communicated. I'm not gonna lie with you. I know Plat Mercies, right?
I'm pretty sure it was not.
And look at that.
But yeah, what a wall.
That's crazy.
What a wall.
I don't think it was intended for the res, but you know, we'll pretend that it was.
Yeah.
Can always count on Squilchy to come through clutch. That's crazy. Stress. Yeah, I think you were like, I'm getting pocketed, right? Right?
Yep.
Like that, you know, Padme Amidala meme? No, she's going to pocket a full HP person that's completely away from the fight. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, I was like, oh, my Mercy, I think I was like, my Mercy can damage boost me here, and we can pick their tank.
Heal you, too. That would also be pretty useful. That's crazy.
Or that.
Love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, but you'll get res.
I do get the res, though.
That's classic Platinum Mercy right there.
Yep.
We don't pocket you when you're doing something. We're going to let you die and then res you. In the middle of your team, by the way. So,
yeah.
That's good stuff. Love it. Okay, good angle here. Nice stuff. Always an uncomfortable 1v1. If you want to cheat it because you can wrap quickly and access backline because of pulse, I don't hate it. Obviously, that's failing through success there, or success through failing, I think, with that pulse bomb target.
Yep. No, I was definitely going for the cast.
Yeah, of course. My bad. You also tracked his roll cooldown, which is incredible. Yeah, I mean, sure. I love also the fact that you didn't immediately recall out. Now, I'm a little scared of sleep dart here, so I'm going to look here. What did you do post-pulse? Yeah, that was a little lucky. You had one more blink. You probably should have used it there. But decent tracking. And, oh my days. There's something just poetic about the kill feed right now, especially with the player names.
Oh, true. Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, good stuff. Just shoot her out. Yeah, all right. That's like one of those weird situations where like it's not exactly cheating because yeah, you ran past the Mei, but you stayed in the lane. You know, you didn't run through the middle of the enemy team. So when you actually disengaged the Mei, she couldn't see you. So no, we don't have to get super sweaty and complicated with it, but it was a well done play. Good blink. Reasonable recall. There's the fortify. There's the spin. She's gonna die anyway. Yeah, let's see what you do setup wise here. Sure. Yeah. Oh my days. That's unfortunate. You almost got her. Awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
See what you do, and then if I don't like what you do, I'm gonna make you figure it out. Feels really uncomfortable, doesn't it? What do you think?
Just go up the stairs on the left there.
Sure.
Then
wrap
the Ana
here.
can't see me.
Yep. You can also wrap all the way to here,
far right and
then
the
approach
Mercy.
from here, or shoot the Mercy. Exactly. Again, it's just swinging laterally, really. Sure. Yeah. If she wasn't fortified, yes. But honestly, not a total waste because I guess it technically does. Man, I don't know, 150 damage. Oh, she has a fortify buff armor perk as well. Shoot, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's 200 damage. It's not terrible. She might actually die because of that. Yeah. Yeah, good. I see the blink practice here. I mean, it's not exactly a tracer duel, but I can tell that you're deliberately thinking about it when given bandwidth, and it shows. Good stuff. I see the plat 1 occasionally. You know, I see it there. I see it there. Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. This is where things get really messy.
Yeah, I was really unsure about how do I get to a good angle here?
Yeah, so I think that, so the reality is how you get to a good angle is never through the middle, right? So I think you know that, but you drew a diag and we hate to see it. So here are your choices. All right, you're the coach here. What are your 2 choices? From one from here and then one from here.
Let's see. I could blink just under the bridge, wrap around behind the Mei.
1, 2,
that's
3.
a little long though.
It is a little long, but what the frick are you doing right now?
Shooting the Orisa outside of my range.
Yes, and risking getting shot in the back of the head by a soldier in high ground.
Yeah.
Right, there is no angle with which you can isolate and pressure the Orisa with the angle they have.
There's nothing I can do there.
So, yeah, I mean, this isn't great. I mean, it's kind of all or nothing. It's in the back line. It's going to take a while to set up. You're going to have to AFK, but you know what? It's something. Okay, left lane solved. I agree. Well done. Give me a right laner.
Let's see. Blink up to the mini.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Orisa's going to chase. You know it, but you know what? Play patty cake with her.
Yep.
This is your space, right? You can live here for quite a long time, especially if you time it with your team in the next 2 or 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
It sucks. This is third point Havana. This is how it goes if you're not playing Widowmaker. But there is a solution. So what you did is started from the left, went to the right, and then second guess yourself halfway through. And now you're going to fall back to your team. You should have died there.
Oh, 100%.
Yes. Go. I'm hindsight coaching you. This is okay because she walked forward, so now you can just bump a blam. Yep. Freaking Mercy, man. At least she has Valk. I'll give her credit for that.
Yeah. No, when she got that res, I was like, my team let her do that. But
well, you are part of that team, but yeah, I understand.
100%.
Nice. You notice how much easier it is when they play to your space. You know, like, hey, let's you guys come a little closer. So much easier. Sure, it's fine. It's worth a shot. But you are going to have to figure something out here. And I think you're realizing that, but you're thinking, yes, this is it. Now we're safe. Now we're cooking. Because from here, we can do this. We're going to cheat for the Mei, sure. But then you notice that we also are able to get back to a position that actually has walls, right? Like here, right? So this is You've solved it. It was ugly and it was messy, but you did solve it, and that's kind of been the theme for today, I think, for the most part. Obviously, Spade a little bit too long in here and got punished for it, but all things considered, not too shabby. Okay, I got to see this.
Yeah.
It's nice. And this is funny because I could see the confidence here because you've been here before.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's going to go, but you're like, I think I got an idea. Because I remember on my defense.
Yeah.
Still awkward because, Havana, but there's at least staging ground from here. And I think you can see, like, it's a little awkward, but you can do good damage on anything that's on cart. And there will be something on cart because otherwise you're going to cap. And then if you want to go for backline, you're really only one blink away, which means that you can reasonably outplay this Ana and still end up back in cover. You notice that?
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Took you too long to kind of get started here, but honestly, I think it was okay. This is a decent rotation here. There's the dopamine health pack.
Health pack good.
Health pack always good. Oh, they know you're there. No, they don't. Yep, this is good. I would just shoot. Ooh, wait. Did you just, like, Ultra Instinct that Ana? Wait.
That looks missed.
Yeah, I mean, she just missed, but the timing was, like, impeccable. Hang on, we gotta see this again. Full speed here. She thinks she's got you down to rights. Or dead.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, this is fine. And really, again, this is good. This is really uncomfortable for this Ana. Nice. I see the vision. Sure. There it is. Flank. Yep. Oh, that's monstrous. So, here's the really bad news, okay? You needed to hit the pulse bomb. Or at least do something with it. I mean, even not even hitting the pulse bomb, just getting the chip damage such that you could finish the kill and force res was really important because that's what ends up allowing her to live, build the ult, and then crucially, that's what allows her to nano Orisa and like... But you know what?
Yeah.
I appreciate the attempt to go for the blink pulse. Here's why I don't like it.
I think I just rushed it. I was like, I have pulse. I need to use it now.
Yes.
And I had honestly so much time to do this.
You did, and but that is a little bit of hindsight here. So I think this is okay. I think you just misjudged the distance. That's all. So ironically, we talked about like the blink 180s here. This is the one situation where you just misjudged how far you needed to blink, and so this needed to be a blink 180 for this to work. Because if the pulse hits or the kill happens, I mean, look at how low this Orisa happens. Even just more, and I will say this too as well, maybe even continuing on harassment post recall. Now, this will change tomorrow, but you did have 3 blinks.
That's true.
You didn't immediately have to disengage. You could have played 1, 2, and then use your last blink, or even just 1 blink's worth of pressure. Keep her out of the game just a little longer. You know, because like, oh man, oh my gosh, like, oh, it's so close, so close. Okay, what are you seeing? What needs to be done? Let's make our short list here. And I want you to write it down. You type it or mental checklist, whatever works better for you.
Sure. Let's see. First thing is, let's shorter rotations, or not necessarily even shorter rotations, but I guess timing of rotations maybe.
I'm gonna let you cook a little bit.
Yeah, like rotate to a different, like if I get recall forced or whatever, not necessarily rotating so deep to my back line, like stay somewhere where I can apply pressure instead
Sure.
of just somewhere
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just downtime.
don't be so scared without recall. Depending on the status of things, be patient and generally don't try to rotate back to your team. Like you said, cover. I think was what you said. Like finding
Yeah.
some place with cover. That's really good.
Yeah.
What else?
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Map familiarity with Havana was a big ugly thumb in this one.
yeah.
You know, and to be honest with you, that's kind of a lame thing to put in feedback. But what I would say is this is probably something that's actionable from this is that if you have other maps like this, you need to sit in a
Yeah.
replay viewer and kind of think just a couple minutes, think about, where could I have rotated? What are some options that maybe I'm not exploring?
Sure. So we got map familiarity. I think maybe like take a second to choose what lane and how I want to get there.
Yeah, that's kind of helps with the experimentation because you talked about it being decisive here, but several times you were decisive, several times you were not, and then panicked late and tried to find something that just was really ugly.
Yeah, so I think just take a couple seconds, think, okay, what looks best here, and then go for that.
Because when you were confident, it was some of the best Tracer gameplay that we've seen from you in a long time. It's really good. Things that were good for me, I think it's something that I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, you need to keep practicing, obviously, but trigger discipline at moments looked all right. Definitely being pretty deliberate with your blinks and duels. Keep practicing that. That was really good. I think that was a strength of yours. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think that's about it for me. I think even there were moments where you were able to manage a couple people's attention. You specified that might be a weakness. Maybe it is in other VODs. Not in this VOD. Not in this VOD. You were pretty attentive to how much attention you were getting and how much attention you were not getting. And that's good. It's really good.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, mate.